Okay, so it's a very hot day today. Trying to take care of the MX-5. See its sparkly door there. I got to take all the stuff out of it. I've been using it as a storage room for all my parts and miscellaneous bits and bobs. You know, I got like braces in there, headlights, vents, fiberglass parts, extra floor mats. So got to get that stuff out, and then we can start taking the seats out. I forgot my tripod today. For my Cobalt induction kit. Probably going to put that back on because it'll look sweet once it's painted up. Moulded headlight. Should be getting lots of use out of that soon. What came out of the moulded headlight. Some cool Time Attack fiberglass vents that my friend John gave to me. Very nice TCP RX-7 you have there, John. The other bit of the Cobalt induction kit. So it's a proper cold air kit. Goes that way up in the engine bay. Front of car's that way. I think this painted will look very nice instead of heat tape. And some spacers. More Cobalt goodies. Tuck-in 99 checkered red floor mat. Love these. Front strut tower bar. Fet Sports. Spare rear lights. Crashed into. Here I've got my original wing mirrors. I never painted them, but I'm gonna. Like an idiot, I just cut the electric fucking cable, so I'm gonna have to run a new one through the door. And lastly, part of my Cobalt rear strut brace for the rear suspension, but the rear suspension's out of the car at the moment. Don't know if you can see. Picked up a new exhaust the other day, swapped it, straight swap for a Malian Canon, which was just way too loud. Hearing damage is fun. No, but this sounds, I've had one of these before I sold it and got the Malian, and I really like the way these sound. They're not too loud, and they sound great, and they look great. This one's a little beat up, but for a straight swap without the hassle of having to buy and sell shit, pretty good trade. Well, the seat's out. For the amount of cobwebs that there were, I was expecting a bit more spiders, but none. Okay, so last weekend I spent most of it underneath the car, wire wheeling all of the old underseal off. You can see here we've had some cracks in the paint. That's basically from putting too much wet paint on too quickly. So I've got to do one more coat of underseal just to make sure that there's no wrinkles and creases in there, and then we can gloss over the top of this. But yeah, it's actually pretty clean up here. You can see all the different weld seams, all these parts I had. These are all new bits of metal. This is the original floor pan, so the original drain plugs and all that lot. And that pretty much stems the entire way down my car. Just shows you how much needed to be cut out. All of this sill, all the way back there. All of this replaced everything. I had also made a start on the other side of this chassis rail here, but I found after taking off most of the underseal on this side, a lot of this is actually good. It doesn't need taking off, but once it's got some gloss paint over it, it will look absolutely mint. Gearbox drain plug clearly loose. So here we have our next problem area. So this is about halfway down the length of the door. You see that seam there is a little bit crusty, but once this is all wire wheeled off, it's going to give us a way better idea. I mean, it's had a light going over. I've given it a scrape with a screwdriver, but again, it's not the worst. And lastly, that brings us to the rear of the car. So this is the rear section, right at the back of the seat, where the back of the seat is. So I think this is original Mazda metal. This is new. Again, you can see a bit of surface rust, not treated properly when I had it repaired at the time, which which is fine because we're doing it now. But this is a hole that goes through into the cabin. You can see the shit falling out. But again, that should be a pretty easy fix.
In the business, we call this foreshadowing.
That should just be cut, plate, weld in. And then wire wheel treated with rust converter, primed, stone chipped, glossed, brand new. That's the goal, is to get the underside of this car looking as good as I can. Now we have a much better look at what we're dealing with. God damn. That one's going to be fun. It's right on a ridge. I'm hoping this one is probably going to be the easiest. Something else to take care of. This could do with a hoover, really. Woo-hoo-hoo. Check that out. That hole was not there when I had that welded up a couple years ago, because we had all this carpet out. I think this one was starting to show through, but that's actually not doing too bad, not compared to There it is. That is what we could see from underneath. You can see actually it's most of that seam. ECU's under here. I'm gonna actually have to take that panel off, make sure everything under this bit's okay, because that does look a little bit worse than I was expecting from this side. Underside, fair enough. It is what it is. Just finding some other bits down. Now I'm down here as well. It's a Mazda. It's from 2001. It's more than 20 years old. It's to be expected, really. Right, so after some drilling, we have got the ECU plate off. It's took a while. It's hot. Had to get the finger filer out as well. This lovely little machine. Amazing. If you don't have one, get one. They will, especially if you're welding, save your life. And that is the MX-5 ECU. But we're not really here for that. So we want to get under this silver bracket here, just to see how far the rust goes. I also punched some of these rusty seams, just to see where they go. Obviously that goes into the sill. But that stuff's going. That needs to be replaced. Same with down here. That's all going, needs to be replaced. While we're here, that's going, that needs to be replaced. Obviously we've seen that. So let's have a look at what's under this bracket. So it actually doesn't look too bad, other than that massive, gigantic hole, obviously. But I was almost expecting some of this rust to be creeping from here backwards. It's not too bad. That looks like a bit of surface. And we're alright down there, and we're alright here. A bit more surface rust developing over in that corner, but I think a wire wheel to this will sort it out, give us a better look of what we need to weld up. Oh, that's nice and loose. That's what you want from a seatbelt. Oh wow. Couple threads, lovely. What do we do about this bit then? You see there's a pressed ridge, obviously to give that floor pan a bit more strength. That does make it a bit, not painful, just annoying. Just because there's now a difference in height between metal once it's cut out. So I've got to work out how to do that. Bear with me. Now comes the tricky one. Tricky to fucking frame for a start. I've got no fucking tripod. Right, we have now reached the point where the diameter of our cutting disc is too big to do all this fine work, so I'm going to swap over to the Dremel and finish that off and tidy it up. Ideally I want this to come off in as a whole piece as possible, so I can trace this directly onto the card, and then we can get this to fit perfectly, fine-tuning that card, and then put that on the metal, trace that, sand that, and trim that down to size, and then it should be a perfect fit. This is for anyone wondering if they should put extra metal flake in their paint. Do it. It looks fucking sick. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, please hit like. If you disliked it, please hit dislike. Tell me why you didn't like it in the comments below. If you want to see more of this content, please hit subscribe. If you want to support us directly, visit Jematsui.com, pick up a sticker or pick up a jacket. We've got some really cool retro ones in, so take a look and see what you think. Cheers guys, see you in the next one.